Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast. If you've listened to the What's Your Sign part 2, you know that this dynamic duo is back together again. The pop culture expert Chelsea and the My Hero enthusiast Andrea recording another episode together, but a whole different topic. How are you ladies doing? It took 3 years for you two to do one again, and now we got two back to back.
Well, what's funny is if this goes well, this will actually kind of turn into its own mini series.
Absolutely.
So there's going to be more of us.
Foreshadowing. I will say that before we go into the topic with you two, because you two were the first ladies to do a pod, just two of you guys together. Because I mean, there's a lot of different dynamic duos with the guys where they team up and all that stuff. And then Chelsea, you've been on some of the guys ones. Andrew, you've been on some of the guys ones. But I do think that we just need some more lady tag teams. You guys got to get more going.
It's fun.
It is.
When we were texting about it, I was like, oh, I could 100% just, we're going to have a good time.
We are. Absolutely. As soon as you said that, I was like, yep. Yeah. That's the Chelsea energy I remember. Hello. Yes, for sure.
So this one is it is new, but it also is another kind of sequel to an episode someone on here has done. Someone named Andrea, who, for people who don't remember, this was Andrea's very first episode a long time ago about women and their love of anime. Andrea, do you want to know when this episode came out?
When that episode published, wasn't it in January of 2021?
Oh, you got the month and the year. Do you want to try and guess the date?
The date? Oh, that it actually published?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
You already got the year and the month down.
Well, because you mentioned it to me before, and in my brain, that was my very first episode.
Episode.
Tracking it in my brain is oh my God, I've been doing this podcast with you guys for 4.5 years at this point, which is wild. Anyway, January 18th is yelling at me. So that's
what I was thinking.
That might have been the day we recorded. January 26th is when it came out.
Wow. Oh, so close. Okay, I'm gonna bank it on that's probably when we recorded it.
And when you did, and by the time these come out, the other, not just your guys' episode, but something else will be out. Since you said that it was 4.5 years, I don't know if you two know this, but we're recording on the 24th of August. On the 26th of August will be actually the official 5-year anniversary of the very first podcast of the L7C. So there's actually a brand new, never been done before thing on the L7C podcast where the very first person, won't spoil what it is, but you guys probably listen to it by now. At the very first podcast that gave everyone a chance to even have this shit, Mitchell Oso, he did something special for the 5-year anniversary we did together. Make sure you listen to that, which will be coming out Tuesday. And then what he did, he's suggesting everyone does when they reach certain milestones. So you're gonna have to see, and it was a lot of fun doing it. But
oh my God, which milestones are we talking about? Because if it's the 5-year mark, then that means I'm on deck in January.
Well, it was the 5-year mark because it was the very, very first podcast ever on this thing, and then you'll just have to see what he did. It was very fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Andrew was here. We talked about girls loving anime, making your debut, talk about the world of anime from a female perspective, what got you into it, first animes you watched, what animes you're currently into, the stigma about girls. Man, we covered a whole bunch of things in this thing. How's it feel that you had to hide the fact you liked anime back in the day because you were a girl? Have guys warmed up to girls liking anime because of cosplay, fan service, etc.? Does fan service what beauty looks? Wow, we really got deep the way American media does. And we talk about Andrea's future going forward on the L7C. I think her future has gone pretty well. I can't believe that was the last sentence. If this episode's out, she's never coming back. That's basically how everyone's first one. And there's some people where they've not come back because it just...
I was about to say, has anybody actually not come back? Because I thought most of us have always done at least a couple.
Right.
But, no, there's been some people. Well, not because they were just...
I was about to be that way. I was like, who? But then also not doing it on the recorded podcast.
Right. Edit it out.
Yeah. No, there've been some like special guests because they've come with someone else where it was just like,
well,
no.
yeah.
That's normal, but like,
but not like anyone who's like. Well, I would also, I would also say too, from a before we actually get on really talking about from a main cast perspective, there hasn't been a new main cast person added since Sarah doing women's gymnastics. So it's actually been almost a couple years.
Wow.
Yeah. So. I was actually expecting you to say Junior, but then that doesn't make any sense because he's never been in our like end of the year pod, so he's not part of. No, to me, that's kind of my reference for the main cast, quote unquote.
Agreed.
No, you got to do at least like 4 something episode. I think that was the criteria. And generally comes like if he does do it on the dating one, but he does do like real estate, like every now and then he'll like pop in once or twice, like every couple years. But that's not like main cast. That's just like like guest of the show type thing. So Andrea talks anime. She does My Hero by herself, which Andrea is about to really dive into. You're gonna hear just like this month. In the month of August, you've heard Chelsea's been going on a really good tear. Woo! September and October, Andrea is going to go on an Omega tear as well because she's going to be previewing and reviewing the new Demon Slayer movie with the Captain Byron Mitchell. You're asking why it's those two? Because those two were the two who hopped on with me during the emergency pod years ago where they announced the movie. So that's why they got the keys to review and preview the movie, and Andrew has My Hero coming, so the final season. So it's a big deal. So like big deal. This podcast is going to be super locked into that. So now you're asking, Andrew does all this stuff: My Hero, Demon Slayer, women in anime. She's in the anime league with all the boys. What is the pop culture expert Chelsea Hepper doing on an anime episode? Andrea, tell the fans what she's doing here.
Well, to my understanding, Chelsea would like to enter the world of anime. So we are here today for me to essentially give her recommendations on where to start. And hopefully this goes well with the recommendations. So that way this can continue. Well, to be fair, even if it goes horribly, I'm sure she'll hop on to tell me how awful it was. So we'll at least get a part 2. But the hope is I'll give her a few recommendations. She's going to get hooked. And we're just going to keep doing recommendations and reviews from somebody who hasn't watched an anime that I've recommended and watched before. And or I also, this was kind of a low-key thing I thought about. I plugged back to Sarah's suggestion for doing a dual pod with myself. Now I'm thinking of a trio. Because I haven't watched, she mentioned that one of the few anime she's ever watched because she enjoys figure skating, it's called Yuri on Ice. I have not watched it. And so she was like, oh, let me know when you watch it and we can do a pod together on it. We can save that a little bit for later, but in the back of my mind, I was like, ooh, this might be a time where we can be like, Chelsea, let's both watch it at the same time and both talk to Sarah about it at the same time.
I would be down.
First, let's get you into something that we'll know you'll like. And then we'll explore from there.
Exactly.
But that's what we're here to do today, correct?
Yeah, you nailed it.
It's kind of funny because this all started when I was at Chelsea's house. Yeah. And we were there conversing, and then we actually called you on the phone and we were just like, hey, what do you think about this idea? And you were just like, great. And I already think there's going to be a part 2 because I also know some of the boys, when they first heard about this episode, they're just like, oh, just let me know whenever this starts. I want to be a part of it too. So I'm pretty sure they're going to want to get in when y'all allow them to get in. So I think we're just going to...
Girls only for now.
Girls only for now. No boys alone or allowed. No boys allowed. So let's start right from the top. Chelsea, what type of exposure do you have in regards to anime?
I would consider myself like inexperienced. Okay. Like one of my favorite movies, like as a kid, was Spirited Away.
One of the greatest anime movies ever.
For sure.
Truly. And like is kind of like my comfort movie. And like, my grandpa got it for me. He was just like, oh, it's animated. Like, here you go. You'll like it. It's not Disney, but it'll do. And I was immediately like in love. And to this day, like I watch it all the time. And like I watched Sailor Moon as a kid, but like I don't remember anything of it. Like I know that I watched it. I know I liked the girl who wore green, Jupiter.
Mm-hmm. Jupiter, yep.
Like I know I liked her. She was edgy and cool. But like that's kind of it. I did watch Arcane,
mm-hmm.
The Netflix show, last Christmas, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I was texting Martin about it of like, oh, guess what I'm doing? I'm watching this and I'm kind of hooked. And I think I finished it in like 2 days.
All right.
Yeah, it was cold, so I didn't leave my couch.
Fair.
But yeah, that's kind of the extent of my anime involvement, I guess.
And it's funny how you remembered Sailor Jupiter, because I don't know if I know it's been said on the podcast, but I know me and Andrea have talked about it in text a billion times. Sailor Jupiter was the OG original version of, obviously, Luisa, if you've seen Encanto. She is the prototype of what Luisa is.
Yes. She was supposed to be like the taller than average, the more tomboy one, but she still had a girly side.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the tough one. So yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of love for Jupiter.
She just seemed cool. Like that's all I remember about her. And she had green on, and green's one of my favorite colors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Chelsea, what's any apprehensions you have trying to get into anime or trying to just do this series in general?
I guess like there's a few. Number one, I get secondhand embarrassment very, very easily. So I truly do not enjoy watching things that'll make me cringe. It makes me want to crawl out of my skin, and I will 100% fast forward. I don't care what's happening. I will leave the room. I will fast forward. It doesn't matter if I'm watching something or if it's happening like in real life and I see something that makes me want to crawl out of my skin. I hate it. So I'm a little nervous of that because like, and again, I know you guys like anime and I 100% like love hearing you guys talk about it, but like you have that stereotype of the very cringe, like almost too sexualized and embarrassing content of it. And I don't like that.
Yeah. So like hearing you say that, the first thing out of my mind, I will never recommend you to watch Fire Force. Because the story is really great. The concept is cool. I'm starting to hit that point in my anime watching career where when there's too much fan service for apps, that's what it's called generally when a character is drawn overly done, I guess we'll say. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, they are always somehow in a sexually compromising position for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm hitting my threshold for that. So
right.
Me as somebody who loves anime and because I'm already hooked on that story, I'm going to do it. But hearing you tell me that is like, okay, absolutely. That's not one I'm ever going to recommend you to watch. Like,
yeah,
flat out, no. Which is part of why like that question is really important. But you mentioned you had a couple. So like, is that all of it or was there something else you were apprehensive about?
Real quick though, I do think that one, which is normal, which is interesting because also I think on the flip side, which I'm surprised this isn't a series on this, but maybe 2026 outplanning. I mean, I can watch the stuff and be perfectly fine, but like on the flip side, Chelsea, I could not read any of the books you read and read all the sex scenes. Like that's another thing, and that's for you to. So that's the thing where it's like to contradict what you just said. Like you read the stuff you read is almost as bad as some of the fan service.
No. Okay.
Oh yes,
no.
I have walked in on. I have walked in on
so
some reading.
Different though, Martin. That is absolutely different. Okay, because A, you can control the pacing of it in your mind's eye. Mm-hmm. B, you can decide like, okay, I am not in a place when I'm okay with this. Put it down. Come back to it later.
Right.
B,
but you got to finish the book.
It's also like It's okay, but also like, I won't speak for you, Chelsea, but if I'm reading something that's a little more spicy, if I can't visualize it to the extent that they're saying it, it's not as whatever.
Right.
Plus, I mean, just in general, if you're already in an adult-ish mood, also generally things have been laid out. It's been built up to, there's not just a sudden, again, in the Fire Force, I'll stick with this example. Essentially, this girl just randomly loses her fucking clothes out of nowhere. Again, it's out of nowhere. It's weird. And she's always like somehow putting boobs in one of the guy's faces or somehow jumping on and sitting on his face. Like, it's so unnecessary and out of the blue and not. It's different. I get your point.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have someone in who I live with who you both highly respect who would say otherwise, because I don't know if you've ever listened to one of the audio walking in on one of the audio
again,
books.
With the audio,
we're talking TV, so these things aren't on the show. They don't have like a show, so the only thing you have is the audio. So when you have some random mellow tone audio person and you walk in and hear that, nah, that's rough.
I'm gonna jump in here. There's a few different like facets to this. One, like, I'm okay with a little bit of smut. I like adult content, like that's fine, but the randomness where like all of a sudden somebody's topless, like that doesn't make sense to me. And there's a lot of different like reading tropes that like I will automatically just start to hate it for no reason as soon as it's introduced, because if I can pick it out within 0.5 seconds, it is very sloppy and not going to be well done. But it's not just like reading the smut or like watching it. It's the other things that go into it, I guess, with like anime is the drawing and like the over sexualization of some of the characters. Like there's attractive people in real life and in anime, but as an outsider, you see the stereotypical like big boobs, super skinny, high pitched, almost like
childlike.
So every famous Instagram model in the world right now.
Okay, but that's part of the point. And also, I think part of what she's getting into, and that's ringing in my head, correct me if I'm wrong, Chelsea, but it's kind of, romance books are written generally from more of a sapphic gaze than the male gaze.
Right.
And anime and the over sexualization and the fan service in general is written for the male gaze. So male gaze.
Yeah.
And it inherently objectifies women versus, I'll talk about an anime real quickly that has more of a sapphic gaze, or the fan service is actually geared more towards women, being Jujutsu Kaisen. That the men are normally the ones that, within reason, because they've been fighting, their shirts get torn. There's more of a implied like that they're super muscular, and like a shot where it's like, ooh, he's fine. Like, but it's not all of a sudden his. Okay, yes, Nanami. Not all of a sudden his pants are down and he's jumping in a girl's face. Like it's different. It is absolutely different.
Well, I think that one, 100%. Which is going, no, it's not on there. It also depends on the genre. Like
true,
because that's the other thing too. Because they're split into many different things, like you said, the demographics and stuff like that. And I know I've said it on here before. None of us here are children. We understand that sex sells and sex makes people billionaires. Hence why some of these, I mean, it's just not honest truth. It's just, it is what it is. So hence with I know some of the things is just like, all right, that's completely out of the blue and unnecessary. But then, however, with going, now we're just connecting everything to Chelsea's episode that she did a long time ago. Doesn't matter. If it's unnecessary, what's that going to get?
Right.
Clicks. If it gets clicks, what does that get through? Internet traffic. Gets through internet traffic. Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to watch this scene. And then they're like, oh, the rest of the episode is actually really effing good. And then just the game that they're playing. And I do understand what Chelsea was saying, but just also from the thing of like all the other things in the world, it's just like, they're all pretty similar in a way.
Yeah. And like the other thing, it's not like, it's also the like audio noises too that goes into it. Like the cheesy music or like the cheesy buildup where I just get secondhand embarrassment from. But that's just a me issue. And then my other, I guess, reservation or like hesitation is sometimes the style and the way like it's drawn, written, filmed.
Okay.
For lack of better understanding, like I like it when, I guess I like the style of like Spirited Away where it's kind of like cutesy and clear cut.
Okay.
But I like a more complex story. Like I like fighting, like I like fast paced action. I do like some romance in it, but like I don't want it to be one specific, like this is it and this is all you get. Like I want there to be an actual story. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the visuals, I do want to just make sure I understand, because Studio Ghibli is very specific.
Right.
Have there been any other animated movies or shows that you've come across where you straight up don't like the art for it?
Yes, and I don't remember what it was. Let me find it real quick. Hold on. Because I like was doing a little bit of like, what are the top 10 anime shows or whatever.
Fair.
Why do I for the record, I have about 45 tabs.
You should work on that.
You know, it's just who I am as a person. I don't really care.
Same. Yep.
While you're looking for that, we'll continue on.
Yeah,
because you did mention some of the things in the next question about like type of shows, movies you do like watching. You talked about you obviously you like some action, you do like some romance. Movie wise, I mean, romantic movies. You like the MCU, like superhero movies.
Yeah.
I know those genres because I've watched and been with you in some of those stuff. What other things do you like watching right now, like genre wise?
Right now I'm kind of in a Criminal Minds bender.
Ooh, okay.
I like a mystery, I guess, like to tie a theme to it. Like I like watching people problem solve and figure out like who did what or whatever the case may be. That's kind of what I'm currently watching. I also like fluff just for like the sake of having mindless things to put on and just be like happy about. But yeah, like those are kind of like my two go-tos, I guess.
I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been interested in TV shows or movies that are somewhat like historical drama or historical political sphere type? Like I'm thinking of, if you ever watched the show Reign.
Yeah.
Anything about Henry VIII's court. Okay, cool. Because there's a current obsession of mine that between Criminal Minds and historical drama that I'm now going to recommend to you.
Perfect.
For sure. And I love that for me because Martin, you still haven't watched it, have you?
Not yet. It's still on my to-do list.
Okay, I just don't want to say the name just yet, but okay, that's my thought because I need a buddy. I'm hoping you'll like it, but I need a buddy who's as into it as I am. Oh, okay. I'm so excited now. Thank you.
No, I like that stuff. I also truly like I'm super busy, so I need something that's not like a huge commitment. Like I don't want to watch something that has 20 seasons. But I guess with that, like anime versus like a normal TV show, like Criminal Minds, for example, is like 20 episodes a season.
Right.
That's 20 hours of TV. Like that's a long time.
Yeah. So I will say generally most anime, the episodes are about 20 minutes, 25 minutes each.
Oh, perfect.
There are some shows where their seasons will last 20 episodes. Most of them lately, especially when they first start out, might actually only do like 12 episodes. So especially newer anime, they're not as much of a time commitment as something like a normal American, like live, I'm saying live action because it has people, but that's not the right word, TV show. So
right.
Generally speaking, you can burn through anime much faster.
Okay.
And the trend of anime still spans multiple years and can do a decade, but even still, like, for example, My Hero, which is what I cover, it's been on the air now a decade, and it's on its last season, and it only has 8 seasons. It'll only have 8 seasons when it's done. Versus like Criminal Minds, I don't know what season they're on. 17?
Allegedly on the My Hero thing, obviously, and on the original.
They've said it's the last season.
Well, it is the last in terms of the main story, but again, money talks. If Buddy gets offered like $2 billion,
but then that would be a spin-off series, so I don't count that.
It would be a continuation. It's just like the movies are canon.
Well, right. But if it's movies canon, cool. But unless they're starting a whole new chapter, to me it wouldn't. Because to me, when you say that, what speaks to me is Naruto versus Boruto. Yes, Boruto is an extension of Naruto, but it's a sequel. It's a different base story. So I wouldn't lump those together.
Again, money talks, though. I think it's going to be in, but if someone offers you $2 billion to make some shit up,
yeah. Any luck, right?
See?
Any luck finding it, Chelsea? Do you remember what was going on in it?
I guess, okay, the only way that I can think to describe it is like the colors that were used were just like very harsh and bold. And it just looked, I like comic, I'm a Marvel girl, like I all stuff, but it just like, it looked almost very comic book-esque with just like a lack of details in the drawing. Like that's the only way that I can think to describe it. I don't even know what it was the whole time I was searching for it, and I can't find it.
I will just say in general with those though, which is a thing in the anime world, is not the same people animate every episode. So like depending on the different person, like the anime style can look, it could be the same show, but schedule whatever. But sometimes like one episode in your thing, you might really like the colors and all that because a certain animator made it. But then someone else drew the episode, the next one, and you're just like, these colors suck. Where'd the previous person go? So that is something you'll have to look out for because these people are 24/7 around the clock going between like 50 plus different shows. So
yeah. Yeah. I think that's definitely, I think, my naivety, like with anime in general, just because like I haven't watched it. So like I don't know the world, like I don't know these things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, just think about it to connect to something that you like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Obviously, it is like not the directors. Same. The director, it is not the same director because you might like how Thunderbolts looked, but you didn't like how Eternals looked or something like that. Different director, different art styles, different. So those are it's the same thing like that. Like the animes, they have like the one head company who does it, but then you're just having a whole bunch of different people come in and out and all of that, and it's hard.
There's also the times when I don't know if it's happened to too many anime that you watch, Martin, because I know you don't like Attack on Titan, but to me that's one of my prime examples of when the anime studio switches, like the actual studio in charge of producing it has changed, so the art style completely changes.
It does.
The character designs are still the same because they're still using the same reference material, but you can still tell when that switch happens between the seasons.
Yeah, from watching it. Hence why there's some people who just like reading it, because if you're reading the anime, it is from one voice, the main person who created it, and you're usually also the artist too.
Yeah.
So they can keep that consistent art style in their manga. But then when it gets adapted into anime, it's like, all right, who has the money to pay for this person? Who has the money to pay for this and that? And then because they work their asses off and they do not get paid as much, while the corporations who shell them are making billions of buckaroos. So
true.
Just a fun little tidbit on that. And not to say that the L7C podcast, we support all artists for all the shows that we watch because
and all studios
just wanted to give y'all the shout out there because y'all do not get the money you deserve. And
they don't. Y'all don't. Y'all absolutely don't. Y'all's blood, sweat, and tears. I remember seeing the picture come out of, I don't remember which animes he was in charge of, the director of, and his eyes were like puffed out from like nonstop work, exhaustion, probably a little bit of dehydration. Man was run ragged to meet deadlines, to make, the art as pristine as, he helped to produce. And it's sad. They're being overworked and underpaid. They just are, flat out.
You'll probably hear this same statement again in 2 weeks from Andrea.
It is not something I haven't said before, for sure, and it's not the last time I'll say that. Not until a lot of things change.
It's with a particular movie coming out. Yep, it will definitely be said again. So,
but with that in mind, Chelsea, how many different recommendations would you like to start with? Like, would you like a list? So that way you can choose one or two to go from, or would you like me to kind of keep it to one or two that you would actually be committed to trying, or how would you prefer this information?
I would prefer a list of 3. So that way, if for whatever reason, like I'm not into one and I just like, I'm immediately like, this isn't for me, then I've got another 2.
Okay.
And truthfully, just because like I feel like that's a good starting point. But yeah, like I like a bunch of different things. Like I like fantasy. I like a murder mystery. I like battles or historical things. Like I guess content is important, but like I just want there to be a good storyline. I think if there's not a good storyline, regardless of what it is, like I'm automatically out.
Okay. For sure. So then Martin, I have my 3 and I don't think any of them are going to surprise you. And I'll tell you why I'm recommending each of them specifically. So if you are wanting, and I say fluff in the sense of that it's easy to follow without having to pay attention to every single tiny detail, we're going to go with who I'm wearing right now, which is Demon Slayer. The art style is beautiful. The story is not overly complex, but it is compelling. There's not too many seasons. I will text you kind of the watched order in the sense Demon Slayer got a little funky in that they released a mega hit of a movie essentially in place of a second season. Then
highest grossing movie of 2021. Not anime movie, highest grossing movie of 2021.
And then basically turn that movie into an anime season. So I don't necessarily want you to watch the same thing twice.
Right.
But it's a classic. It's one of the, if you Googled like, best entry level animes or how to start watching anime, Demon Slayer was that for a very large group of people back during COVID in 2020. I think Demon Slayer is part of the reason it is now as popular and what's the word I'm looking for? Destigmatized as much as it has become.
I was going to say mainstream.
There we go. Mainstream. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. So I would say Demon Slayer for sure. The one that I'm overly excited about regarding like, kind of has the aspect of the whodunit. There's also historical drama. It's taking place in Imperial China. It's kind of that like whole court type stuff in China, in Imperial China in particular. They have more of the what is that called? In the rear palace, they have all of the consorts. So then you have the hierarchy of consorts and all of that stuff. And our main character, her name is Mao Mao. I think you're gonna love her. Yes, that is my current obsession. There is only 2 seasons of that one. Both seasons are over 20 episodes, which I like because to me, when an anime only has like 12 in a season, I'm like, I want more.
Right.
But it's definitely outside. It's very popular. It is, but it's outside of what's considered the most popular genre, which is called shonen. Shonen as a genre is very I don't want to say it's very action driven because it's true, but that's not the main point of it. It's very, very much like adventure. It's very coming of age stories, like young kid has a certain dream, is trying to reach their goal type thing.
Right.
That's where most of the most popular anime are categorized as. Naruto, if you've ever heard of it, Bleach, One Piece, those are all shonen.
Right.
And Apothecary Diaries is the name of the one I'm recommending to you, is more of a romance drama.
Ooh, yeah, sold.
Okay, so that's number 2. And then number 3, as soon as you brought up that you wanted to dip your toes into anime, I know I'm biased because this is what I talk about all the time on this podcast, but because I know you love the MCU the way you do, I do think My Hero Academia might be a good one for you.
Get ready for some pain.
Hey, don't scare her. Don't scare her. It's also, all of these are actually visually stunning. Most new anime are all very clear, very pretty. I would say recommendations that are from like the early 2000s, the animation would still be visually pleasing, but it might look a little more grainy and gritty because of our current resolution versus theirs.
Yeah.
But yeah, My Hero Academia, it's a story about a hero, a kid who wants to become a hero. It's a shonen. So you have 2 shonens and 1 romance drama. My Hero will be starting the 8th season in the fall.
Okay.
So I know you probably aren't plugged into anime in any of your social medias now. So
I don't think I'll get
I was going to say, I hope you don't. Please don't start searching up things to throw off your For You page. I won't send you anything to mess up your For You page.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Once we get past the end of My Hero, I will start sending you the things for Apothecary Diaries because I need somebody out here for me. But those would be my top 3 choices for you. My Hero is also, I believe, high up on the list of people's like first animes or a really good entry to anime, just like Demon Slayer. But I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, but I feel like My Hero could use a little bit more attention to get all of the connections from the beginning of the series to the end, whereas Demon Slayer is a little less complex. Like you don't need to pay attention to every single tiny detail.
No, because in theory, Demon Slayer, I mean, it's only been, I mean, movie or not, it's only been like 4 seasons, and the seasons are actually very, very short. I would say My Hero Academia being 8 seasons, and depending on which season. And then, like, you might, if you want to, it is MCUS because they have a couple movies that aren't really big into the main story, but they do have certain tie-ins like later on. And there's a whole bunch of different characters that you got to follow and things of that nature. Another thing I would have said with My Hero for Chelsea, because she is an avid music listener, My Hero and some of these other ones, you could finally know what the hell some of your favorite artists are actually talking about when they're actually referring to anime. Because you're like, oh,
that's
now
right.
I know.
Megan,
Now
yes, Megan.
Megan
Megan
the Stallion, who is an Omega My Hero Academia fan. She's been out there for the Crunchyroll Awards. She's mentioned her love for the same person Andrea loves, Shoto Todoroki. She cosplays as Mirako. Like, she is knee deep into that. And I also would like, I mean, because people see someone like the way Megan the Stallion looks and acts and raps, and then you wouldn't think she's like Omega. She's opened the gateway for other people, to women especially, to get into anime because they're like, oh, if a woman can look like that and rap and all this stuff, and then she loves anime as much as I do, and she's going to cons, and she's like going to these concerts in cosplays, performing as a big Omega star she is. So that's why I think My Hero. I mean, that's a good one for your MCU stuff, music connection. But it is the longer one with Demon Slayer. I think Andrea did give you some really good ones. There's only one I think I would have recommended because it is shorter and it goes to something that Chelsea said about action. It is actually a newer one, but it's also a good one. I would recommend Locust Recoil for a couple of reasons.
I have not watched that, so I couldn't recommend that because I don't know what it is.
I can recommend it because, one, the main character on that show is on my anime team for this year. And Chelsea, it is basically the female led cast version of John Wick.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
except the main character's the best, but she left like the organization just like Wick did. But she also has she has the Batman comp. She does not kill. She doesn't kill anymore. So if she ever helps people, she shoot with non-lethal rounds because she's values life and all of that. So they have their own little like there's a whole all the women, they're all assassins. Like it's a female centric cast with two at the center. So I think that in itself you would like, and the fact with the shooting and all of that, it's literally like the ballerina, like the movie, except they are the main characters.
Ooh.
You have two ladies, and the other main character is learning from the main character about like, hey, it's okay to have a social life outside of the agency and all of that jazz. So I think Andrew, you like that too, because you're like, oh, look at these women like just kicking ass. Like literally, they're the main characters, and you don't see that often where two women are main characters in an action-packed show, especially like a gun shooting John Wick show. So
right,
that would be the one. And it's also short. I think it was like 12 episodes. Another one, if you did like sports, which Andrea really likes, and
I was gonna say, are you gonna say
everyone else on the pod?
I was thinking that one too. Yeah,
there's a volleyball one called Haiku that everyone just likes because it's just like a feel good. Like the sports ones are usually feel good ones. You just like get super happy when they finally triumph, and then you get super sad if they do lose or when they lose. So everyone who's watched Haiku that I've known, man, woman, indifferent, has loved
even those that don't like anime necessarily, because I mean, somebody that liked Haikyuu and basically only watched it on accident is Patrick, and he's not an anime person. He's only like, I only ever watched Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball. That's it. But were we doing anime watching together, and he would get there for the Monday Yu-Gi-Oh, and then we'd still have it on, and he got kind of invested. So
I mean, honestly, that's the easiest way for people to get invested is just
having it casually on.
There's a perfect like YouTube video from RDC01 about that. You just casually have it on, and people sit down, and you're like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" Like, and you get into it. Even one that, like, we're just like, we were watching because it's so crazy. Like Tokyo Revengers. Byron sat down. He's like, "Hold on, let me get it. What's going on during this?" And same with Patrick. And then they both get invested. They're both. Then you start the Google searches, and then you're just like. So I think that's as easy. And you just sit down, and it's the same with like reality TV. Like, oh, what's going on? And you just sit down, and you start get drawn into it, and you're like, oh shoot, this and this. So I think that's the easiest thing. Just have it on the TV and go. But no, I think you would really like Locust Recurl just because of the female empowerment of it all.
Where is that? Is that one on Crunchyroll only?
No, I don't know if it's only on Crunchyroll, but I know that's where I watched it the first time I watched it, and that's why I was like, I need to make sure I get the lady on my team.
Speaking of where to watch it, how do I watch your recommendations? So
I'll check for My Hero, but actually the first season of Apothecary Diaries and most of the seasons of Demon Slayer are on Netflix. Okay, I forgot to mention that was part of the reason why I recommended them is that they're easy to find. Do you happen to have Hulu? Or Disney Plus?
Yeah, you got to be careful because Hulu's about to go away because Disney's being a Disney. But you have Netflix.
I do have Netflix. I don't think I have Hulu at the moment. But Grey's Anatomy hasn't started yet this year. So once it does start, I'll have Hulu temporarily.
Let me check for My Hero because I have seen My Hero on Netflix. The biggest thing for some of these is that they might have like the first couple seasons, but not all of them. And all of them could be found on Hulu, or Martin and I both have Crunchyroll as well. I'm not going to say this part on the internet, but like I'll talk to you about that later offline.
I see what you're putting down, but like, what is Crunchyroll. Like I can
So
order.
Crunchyroll is me personally, and I have because I do all the sports stuff, so I do have a lot of different streaming stuff, and then I also have streaming stuff for entertainment. I personally think it's the best streaming app in the world. For one, the price. It's like $60 a year for like the premium thing. Two, it houses basically almost every anime ever made, almost to an extent.
To an extent.
So it's like the Netflix and Prime and Hulu and Disney Plus of anime. You just type in what you want, and then you can watch it. And now it's really good that you can watch either, which we have to talk about these two terms, very big, important, the subbed or the dubbed version. The subbed,
oh,
obviously.
That's right. That was one of my questions. I'm sorry, Chelsea. That's my bad. I forgot to ask you if you would prefer to watch them in the original Japanese with subtitles. Subbed. That's what sub is. Or if you would like it dubbed, where essentially it's all the same visuals, but the audio is in English. So that's dubbed.
I could watch it either. I truthfully love a telenova. Okay. So like I love a subtitle too. Like I'm indifferent either way.
Okay.
If it adds to the experience, I will take whatever your recommendation is.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I personally am of the opinion that, especially with the newer stuff, you can do it either way. There is something to be said always about the traditional, in the original language that it's written, having their voice actors.
Because they're chosen for a reason. Like the directors, the animator, like they have their people in mind of what they sound like. So I get it.
But also English dubbing has come such a long way since like the Sailor Moon days. Ghost Stories, which is a whole other lore that we can fill you in about later. But I did just check. My Hero is on Netflix. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix, and multiple of the My Hero Academia movies are on Netflix. So if you want to message Martin and I to get like the watch order, if you want to include the movies, we can see how you feel after the first 2 seasons of My Hero. Okay. About getting into the movies. I will send you the Demon Slayer watch order just because technically the second season is the movie. I don't believe that movie's on Netflix, but that's why I'm gonna talk to you about Control later. Yeah. So I'm actually proud of myself that all 3 of my recommendations can currently be found for you on Netflix.
Even better. That makes life so much easier.
There is another one since I brought up Locust, and then it's not really a mystery thing, but it also, when you talked about new anime and all that stuff, and Spy Family, can't leave.
Spy Family is a great one. I have not watched it myself yet, but it's a very good, feel good.
You would be really into that. You probably, looks wise, you might fall in love with the main character, Lloyd. Long story short, he works for a secret agency trying to save the world, so he's a spy. So his project Strife. So he has to try and infiltrate this school or whatever and get to this guy, the head honcho, to like stop the war. So he has to make a fake family. So he adopts a little girl, Anya, who always wins like the cutest girl world ever. Yep. She is a telepath. So then they also have to, so then, he has to like find a mom. So then he randomly bumps into one of the top women in anime right now, Yor, who she works at honestly, Chelsea, she works where you work. Not gonna say where you work, but she does what you do. But it's a thing, because she is actually she's the strongest person in the verse, right? She is a assassin. So the husband doesn't know the real thing about they're all arranged. It's this hodgepodge thing. The husband doesn't know his wife is an assassin. The wife doesn't know the husband is a spy.
It's very Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yes, the only person who knows the truth about all parties is the girl, because Anya is a telepath. Because she was experimented on throughout her life, and she got these powers. And
how old is she in the show? Like, is she only 5. Like 6?
She's 5'6", yeah. So like kindergarten and all that. So it is a very funny rom-com type ordeal. And then yours also very funny because as strong as she's kicking cars and all that shit, but give her a couple glasses of wine, she's out. So it is very relatable and very funny, and one of the top things. I mean, me and Courtney over here watching, so because it's just funny. So you'd like that one, and that one's just like starting season like 3 in like October.
Yeah.
Low commitment, but
yeah, it's very
Yeah, and definitely on the commitment part, even for the longer longer anime that we recommend, you don't have to watch the whole thing before you come back to us.
That is true.
With any sort, like, especially if it's like you're getting really invested,
right?
You're hearing your thoughts on how the first 2 seasons went, especially for our listeners who maybe haven't given it a shot. How you feel about it, and sometimes there are some shows. I'm not saying any of the ones we just recommended are like this, but sometimes there's such a shift in a show that people have to drop it midway through for whatever particular reasons that they might have. So that's worth noting as well. So even if we recommended a long anime to you, don't feel like you have to finish the whole thing before getting back to us.
Perfect.
True. I think is with those things like you find the ones that you like, you find the genre you like, and then you'll go down that rabbit hole, and then
you'll start branching off from there too. Because I mean, Martin, how far were you in the drama slice of life anime before I got you to watch Fruits Basket?
Not really, because really much at all. Because I'll be honest in that, like, I am very like apprehensive of new anime watching, because obviously I've watched all the old stuff and highly invested in the old stuff to this day. So it's like, and then at that point we weren't as close as we were. So I'm like, this is probably some bullshit. But like, it's sad because then because the person who knows more anime than me and Andrew combined times a million is Cedric.
Yep.
That's why he's the anime expert. He's watched everything we've already talked about. If he was like, oh yeah, Fruits Basket, yeah, I didn't, because he's the one who, when My Hero, he's like, oh, I think you would like My Hero, or I think you would like this or like that. So he's the one who I usually get recommendations from, because he knows our personality traits. So, but no, I watched it because one, you didn't. The other thing was also more of a internal pride thing, thinking that I wouldn't watch it, when I was like, look, if a friend's gonna, I'm gonna do it. So, and I watched that.
No,
shit.
That was a whole different situation. I was just wondering in general, because also for like, because correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the sports anime are considered slice of life as well.
Yep.
But outside of sports, like I wondered how if you were into slice of life. I actually, fun fact, Chelsea, I had a period of time where I wasn't really watching anime, but I was reading the manga for a lot of slice of life or romance, which have been turned into anime. However, a lot of them went to the 1 season graveyard, unfortunately. The season is great. Everybody loves it. But for some reason, they never did season 2.
Oh, I can tell you the reason: the money didn't flow in.
It was also during the time frame that anime wasn't mainstream. So there could be a time when they decide to revamp. I've actually heard rumors that they might be doing one of them. But I haven't gone back to watch the shows, like that actual anime for those manga, because I know they're not finished. And I personally kind of have a thing about finished stories.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually finish it. Yeah.
Chelsea, what are your thoughts right now?
I'm excited. So unfortunately, it's going to take me a minute to do anything because I'm traveling in a few weeks, and I think I have plans every single night from now until when I leave. But once I'm back from vacation, I will definitely watch it, or I honestly might download some of the shows so that way I can watch it on a plane.
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
I would also say, because again, we try to keep the podcast life and personal life separate. But Chelsea, you do have, besides myself and Andrea and all the other people on the L7C who watch anime, in your own other friend group, you have people who I met when I met them for the first time. We started chopping up about anime. So you do have friends in your own little circle who do love the stuff. I wonder what their recommendations for you would be. That would be interesting.
So one of them recommended, it starts with an S, Suzume. Am I saying that right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I bet if you typed it out, we'd be like,
I was going to say,
would...
right? Like, that's where I'm like, do you know anything about the story?
I know nothing. Suzume?
I know what movie that is. I saw that during the
It's a movie. Yes,
Suzume, no, yep, I know exactly.
Yes, that is also on Netflix.
You would like
I believe, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a movie.
Yeah, so she recommended that, and she had also recommended Arcane, which is like the one that I had watched and really did enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Suzume at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm trying to see the other movie that director did, because it's Your Name. That's also a really good one. From 2016. It's also a very similar art style as Suzume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like obviously, like I love Studio Ghibli. During Studio Ghibli month, like one of my other best friends, we always go see one of the movies in the theater.
Yes.
Just because it's kind of like our thing. So yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
I'm so excited to hear what you think. I am so excited. Also, yeah, let us know what your friend, like if you talk to your friends again, what else they recommend to you, because that could be, again, Martin just recommended something to you I have not watched.
Right.
So something to add to my watch list, which I'm hoping your watch list doesn't get too unmanageable, like some of ours do. Because Spy Family has been on my watch list for a minute, and I still haven't watched it.
No,
it just happens. It's okay.
It'll be okay. Everything will buff out. But if you guys can text me the recommendations so that way I don't have to use my thinking cap to remember
for sure.
That would be great.
Yes.
Perfect.
Anything else?
No, I'm excited. It'll be good.
Okay. With that being said, we'll just have to see where this leads us later on in the year. Thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to, especially if you want to follow Chelsea's journey these next couple months going into the end of 2025. We'll reconvene at some point near the end and then see what she's watched, what she's liked, and then we'll go from there. With that being said, everyone take care. Signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.